That's okay. Alright, so if you missed last week, here's a quick introduction. So, my name is Matthew Carr. I'm from Two Hit Studio. It's just a two-man team. Uh, this series is going to cover the concept art for a game idea and just follow through from there to design and then eventually, hopefully, push the game out. It's going to take many weeks to get there, though. So, each one of these episodes runs for an hour, and they'll have something that they will try to achieve in that small amount of time. So this is just the links you can follow to find me. To a studio, my concepts, Patreon, Twitter. You get the idea. Alright, so what did we do last week? Last week we just did a quick rundown of what's already been sort of concepted up. It's an existing kind of game world called Fate's End. So it's already got existing characters and concepts and storylines and stuff. It just hasn't been pulled into anything sort of consistent. So we just went through quick sketches last week, which took about, I don't know how long that took, 15 minutes to run through this. Very cyberpunky world. You got robots, people, the characters, bounty hunters, bad people. You get the idea. And then we also went into a character redesign for the main character, Ray. So that's him there. Cool. Well, you don't know what he used to look like. I'm not going to go through that now, but you can watch the first episode if you want to see how this guy came about. Alright, so this week we're going to be covering just a few preliminary ideas I have about how the gameplay is going to work and sort of how the game world's sort of going to interact with each other and, just how the story is going to progress. So I'm just going to open up a new file for that. Let's just go big, 1280 by 720. Well, it's not big, but just throw in a background. Alright, so sort of what I had in mind for this game was, it's not exactly a new and exciting type of gameplay, but it's more, I don't know, something I really enjoy. It seems like a strange thing to do, but I'll be going with a sort of RPG beat 'em up 2D game style type thing. So I'll sort of explain why I'm doing that. It probably seems like a weird choice if you know about how Fatal Theory went, which was not good, which was a beat 'em up as well. But I think it did the beat 'em up genre not so well in comparison to what people are expecting. So the reason I want to go beat 'em up again is that I feel like there's a massive chunk of a lot of people can relate to beat 'em up straight up, like little Z-axis type of game, run through it, wreck stuff, simple mechanics to pick up, but it sort of dropped off because you can't tell. Well, up until recently, people haven't been bothering trying to tell decent stories through beat 'em ups. It's just action guys jump on there. But I feel like now's a good time to bring it back and put in very heavy sort of story side to things. So I'm just smashing stuff in here. So for me, this whole storyline started from the idea of making a comic series. So, but then wasn't very good at making comic stuff, so it never really happened. But the comic stuff was very influenced by me playing fighting games anyway. So for me, the comic ended up being very side view anyway, and very beat 'em up setup. So it would be almost staying true to what the visual design of what the comic was going to be anyway. I'm just throwing in some random stuff here at the moment. It's going to be a bar. with some lighting. Crazy lighting. Okay. So what I want to do different with the beat 'em up thing is, hopefully some of you guys have played it, the Mass Effect 2 at least, or at least say one of the Telltale games. That's pretty good too. To help explain this, I kind of wanted to do beat 'em up, get Z axis, run around, got super controls, easy to pick up, smash stuff. But I still want you to go and talk to people and treat it like a proper RPG. So you would go over and pick up quests and sort of stuff. Sort of. I'll get onto that side of the mechanics soon as well. But for the moment, we'll run with the beat 'em up stuff. So I don't know if you played the Scott Pilgrim beat 'em up game, but it was like pretty awesome. But I kind of wish that you could have walked around and interacted with the characters more. Which is like, if I could take the story aspects from like a Telltale type of game, or what's it face, Mass Effect 2, that idea where you make a lot of decisions about what you're doing. Like you go up, talk to someone, you get a lot of decisions. Oh yeah, Adams, my brother's like, I thought you wanted to make this top down. It's like, yeah, but I changed the idea to be. I changed the idea. It was gonna be a top down game, but I changed the idea to be asset friendly. Mostly that. So it's very different now. But yeah, it's gonna be a better choice for the game anyway to go sort of side viewing beat 'em up anyway. Because we can get really up close with the characters. They can do like proper interaction stuff, and if I get a bunch of choices in there for like when you go and talk to people, like, oh yeah, it's like you go and talk to this guy because you're a bounty hunter. It's like, oh, where's this dude? And he's like, oh, I'm not going to tell you anything. You're some bounty hunting dog. And you're like, oh well, my options are try and like hassle this guy into like talk him into giving me the information, or if I can just belt him a few in the head, and then that's gonna either have its own ramifications and stuff anyway. But I sort of want the idea to be like, you get a lot of options, so you can come back later and you keep building up some sort of relationship with one guy. It's like, oh, it's this guy, and he's like, oh man, I hate talking to you guys because you guys always bag me out. And you're like, yeah, well, whatever, get used to it. We got money, so how about you give us information? And it's like, oh, yeah, all right, I'll do it. I want to incorporate quite a lot of that role playing, like actual role playing aspect into it, because this game world sort of turned into a bit of a. I set up rules so you can actually play it as a tabletop RPG as well. So I'll be releasing that at some point once I get a few more of these assets out. Let me just knock in something of a bar. Oh wait, I want that big again. 88. That's a good number for me. Oh fuck you. Alright, 88. Anyway. Let's just knock this in. So I'm just smashing stuff in for the moment. It's not going to look awesome straight away. But that's how we work. So just chuck in a few objects now into our world. So it's a bit hard to talk and do art stuff at the same time. So yeah, imagine that you go into your little like side view thing and you're walking around the screen. And occasionally, you beat some guys up, but mostly you're trying to set up. Go and talk to someone and work out like what you're supposed to be doing. It's like, oh, I'm trying to track down this bounty, or I'm trying to like try to find this guy. So you go over and you talk to people and stuff. So let's just chuck in some sort of characters, I guess. Oh, it's gonna be weird to do. Full 100%. Okay, let's just chuck right in. It's not gonna look awesome because I'm trying to like speed pixel art stuff, which is never gonna look good. Just want to get the rough idea here. So you're like, oh yeah, okay, I'll walk into this bar. Cool. This is my usual bar, apparently, according to the storyline. So let's go and get some information. So you go over and you're like, okay, let's talk to this guy over here. Yeah, but imagine something way cooler. But we don't have a whole lot of time to do a pixel art. It's a very meticulous thing. Actually, I could use the old pixel art for him. Hold on a moment. Oh, my brother's asking me like, what did I have in mind? I haven't. Shadowfall. He says, is the game sort of like Shadowfall crossed with Scott Pilgrim? Yes, that is like that's a way better description of what I'm picturing inside my head. So instead of top down, but that's that very like cyberpunky vibe and like go and talk to people and do that sort of thing stuff. Um, but also the when it gets to action, it's time to like lay down some combos and the usual kind of beat 'em up stuff. So you can get bit of aerial stuff, do a bit of Devil May Cry sort of thing. And the other thing is, I wanted to paint all the backgrounds, but I want the characters to be pixel art. I might throw in a previous pixel art piece of Ray though. Let me just search Ray. I should have this on camera, actually. Okay, let's see, where is he? Oh yeah, cool. Drag him in. Okay, that looks nicer than my like terrible sketch. Ah, oh, damn it. Where's rasterize? Okay. Get rid of my shitty one from before. Okay, so this is sort of like the level of pixel I was picturing. Let me just scale this. It needs to be. Oh, if you're scaling pixel art up in Photoshop, use nearest neighbor, because then it doesn't do anti-aliasing. So we'll just use this outdated pixel art piece I did of Ray, because he looks like this now. He's ditched the jacket for the hooded vest, but it's alright. We got this. Okay. Can I think of any other games that go with art and like painterly art and pixel art? No. I'm gonna have to try and dig something up. I know that they exist. I just haven't seen any. Um. Uh. No, because they don't usually go to this scale. So usually they compromise. They sort of do a bigger art piece, but still with pixels, but with a lot more detail in the pixels. They don't go straight up bigger background painterly and drag up the sprites and have it very pixely. Um, but I'm sure I could find an example somewhere. Something's got to exist. Alright, so imagine we got this guy here, he's like, okay, I'm just hanging out at the table and drinking. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, why not? Let's give him the whole. Yeah, he's got his drinks. And his buddy, who's like, big like cyborg guy. Yeah, cool. And you're like, hey, how you guys doing? Like, I need some information. I got, like, can you, like, do you know about this guy I'm trying to hunt down? And they're all like, let's stir it up real quick. Droop, 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 droop. Hang on. That's terrible. It's not even the right shape, but sorry, I'm trying to do it quickly. Very quickly. Okay, cool. They're like, hey, nah, I don't like want to tell you stuff. You're a bad guy, and then you're like, it's like you suck. Go away. And then it'd be all like, like the telltale thing. You get your options. It's like, whoops, punch dude in the back of the head, bribe him, try to talk logic, and like, I don't know, something dumb like, oh, I suppose you could just like, oh, be a few options. Buy him a drink, bail, and then you just pick one. So, say you don't have to go violent. You get experience and stuff. You level your characters up, get new special abilities and things. But like, if you choose, you should get rewarded for doing stuff that avoids violence just as much as going for violence. I feel it depends on the situation, I suppose. But I think you should get rewarded either way, and sometimes more if it made more sense to talk your way out of it. So if this suddenly happened, then you'd be going to a beat up mode because you've just pissed these guys off and they'd all be trying to fight you. Um, so you pretty typical other RPG stuff over the top of it though. So you'd have like you bring up your big menu and oops, and look at your characters and like level up and like get new abilities and things like that. Depending on what stuff you do in the storyline, sometimes stuff will happen like you might get possessed by an evil spirit, so you get some sweet abilities and stuff like that. Um, it would be different each time because I'll get to the world part of it in a sec. So what do we got? 20 minutes in already. Jeez. Level 5. So the leveling stuff is going to be more based on what the RPG's got. So you got and the other characters as well. Jeez, thanks. Adam's just bagging out my writing skills. Probably because I can't even explain myself for the past 20 minutes. Um, items, your stuff, pick up you know, you learn a new skill, da 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 ding. That skill, like aerial combo. Alright, so to mix things up, so you have this little, like, you can interact with NPCs on the screen by talking to them or just beating the shit out of people. Um, you won't be able to fight everyone in the game because it's going to be too complex to work out that sort of storyline. Um, But the idea is, let's go to the next thing. Oh, I can't just remember my thing from last time. Okay. So what's going to make this a bit different from a lot of story-driven games and beat 'em ups is that it's not going to be very linear. Um, uh, what I had in mind for this, let's just use white will be pretty cool. Yeah, run with this. Okay, so in between like story stuff, you'll be like you'll have a little thing like you have to do some events obviously because the story is it's still fairly linear, but you'll have you have to do some events, but then when you're not doing some events, you'll get thrown to like this big picture of the city, which is what I'm supposed to be drawing here. So we're just throwing some color to make it a bit more interesting, and then make them look a bit more like buildings. Okay, and then make a new layer. What's going to be on the screen at this point is you'll have like a big, like a couple of orange markers on your map, and maybe I was going to use white, but I did the city in white. I was actually going to do a big, it's going to do it all color background and stuff, but we don't have a lot of time, so I was going to use the white markers for story markers, but for the moment I'll use blue. Okay, blue, blue, and pinky red. So each one of these was going to represent a thing that you could choose to do on the map, and the blue ones would be story related. So if you go and do that event, you'll be walking in on a scene somewhere in the city where you start interacting with like story related stuff. So let's say we pick that one. Always go semi-transparent. We're gonna be playing with cyberpunky stuff, totally. So it'd be like give it some edgy name of some sort, like I don't know. I can't think of something off the top of my head, like tech head. Let's do that. I have some sort of picture of something, which is like I'll just art that up, and it'll give like barely any kind of clue as to what the thing will do, and then a very simple brief of what event's going to happen on that particular node that you've just picked. So it'll be like linked to the one that you currently selected. So blue ones will be you jumping into an event that's going to give you some information about the storyline or something, or it may impact something that will happen along this in the story. Or if you pick orange ones, let me just make another thing. So story based events. Or orange ones are just events that are sort of like they're not filler exactly, but they're like if you want to find a bit of character development, these are more sort of I guess side-ish events, and they'll sort of like you still do stuff in these that'll impact the storyline, but you won't find out like if you want to just follow just the storyline and avoid odd things happening along the way. So if you just want to play like a role-playing game without choice, then you can just stick to blue, or you can mix it up and chuck orange in there, and occasionally you'll be doing stuff off the main storyline, or occasionally you'll do something that will like slightly link into it, but it's not going to take you around the obvious way to solve that problem. So that might include things like maybe one of your jobs is to take down a hacker, but then that hacker's like, oh, I don't know, like let me go, or maybe you can employ me and I can find information out on these guys for you. Like, oh, I didn't even think it was gonna happen, but might as well take advantage of this guy in this side quest and get some information I wouldn't have found out about in the main storyline. Or maybe you piss off someone who's going to come up into a blue story event later and he'll remember what you did in one of those side quests and it might change things for the better or for worse. The thing is though, I should explain these guys first. These ones are non-events. So they're places like shops and places to upgrade. They'll have like minor events sometimes, so it's still worth going in. But the main thing is, which is what I'm about to say, is it won't take up a turn. So every time you come in here and get to a world map kind of view, you'll have like this little overlay at the top. Yeah, cool. Saying you get, just go type it in, 2 nodes till new day. So you have something like this come up. So when you get thrown to the map, it's like, say, day 1 or something like that. Day 1. Days in Hope City. So it's sort of like a oh, someone's just jumped in. Sorry, just so someone just come in asking if this is making your own game or just explaining how to. So this is sort of making our game. I guess it's a 2-hit studio game, but I guess if people want to know how to make certain things, we'll do it. Like we're sort of at the concepting phase. So if you want to ask questions about that stuff at the moment, like if you want tutorials made up about like maybe words, struggling. If you want tutorials for art related stuff, concept art, how to like reference all that stuff relating to concept art phase, or like how to come up with characters and stuff in general, we'll go over that. But for the moment, I'm just going off a bit of a script, and I'll detour if people bring it up in chat. So if you say stuff, I'll go on a massive tangent if you want to. This is flexible. But at the moment, I'll just keep going on with the script until someone throws me something to throw it out, which would be fun. So it's semi-planned? Not really. Okay, where was I? Engine. Well, we'll end up probably writing our own engine for this. We tend to. We'll probably use C++ with SDL2 or Java with libgdx, or if it's much better by that point in the future, maybe Monogame or even GameMaker, because they're going to make a new version of GameMaker soon too. By the end of the year, I believe, which is supposed to be really sweet. Yeah, apparently it's going to port to all the next gen stuff, so that's pretty cool. So this is going through concept phase. We're like very dev handy, so we'll just decide when we get to that point. I hope that answers your question. It's going to be a bit delayed from when you asked it because it's getting streamed. So hopefully it answers your question. Now, What was I trying to say? This is good. I'm already getting questions. That's the best way to do it. All right. So the idea is like day one, you start your story. You have some you have your whatever event that started off. Like maybe you started off in the bar. Let me like close that down. You started off in the bar and you did some intro stuff, and then you've come to the city. It's like, okay, pick some nodes. Now there's way more nodes than two nodes on the map. So when you come and play it, you go, okay, I've just got to pick two nodes. I'll just pick two story events that sound interesting, and then go into it and play it out a bit. So every time you pick one of these events and complete it, this node thing will tick down, and then once we tick through, the day will progress, and it'll wake, the characters will wake up, go to sleep or whatever. The next like little sort of transitional cutscene thing will happen to move it to the next day with a bit of like essential events that might happen, like the bad guy. You might run into him at the end of this day, and you might have to have like a mini like a sub boss battle or something, and then sort of go, oh, there's a cliffhanger for the next chapter kind of thing, and then you'll have a bunch of these new nodes to pick on the new day. So the blue ones will change. There'll be different blue ones for each new day. The orange ones, sometimes the orange ones will only be on that particular day, or sometimes they will hang around for a couple of days before they disappear if you don't pick them. Um, that way, even though it's a beat 'em up with a linear storyline, every time you play it, you'll pick different nodes and you have a slightly different experience. Just like if we got together with some dice and built some characters in Dungeons and Dragons, and we had like a semi planned storyline, we'd start playing it and we wouldn't play it exactly the same way as what probably the creator of that storyline had in mind. We'd probably do weird things and go on tangents and stuff. So this is sort of allowing for that to happen. So that's the element that I sort of want to chuck in on this that will sort of make this game interesting, is that it'll have quite a number of playthroughs if you wanted to play through everything. Or if you just want to play through it once and just want to just deal with the story, just pick the blue events and then you're just on your way and you're done. So that's sort of what I had in mind for that. Other than that, it's just you go in, talk to some guys, or do some beat 'em up scenes, mix those two together, level up your characters. Um, where did that go? Oh, there it is. Yeah, level up your characters, get new skills, story stuff, and get people killed. So my brother, he's our creative writer, and I felt like this is going to be a better platform for him to start writing stuff, because there are so many awesome cyberpunk cliches out there, like like the ghost in the machine, or like the robot that falls in love with someone, or just straight up like cyber criminals, or you know cyborg guy going around messing people up Godzilla style. Those sorts of things. They're very like episodal in a way. So this would open my brother up for, like, he can just pick it. He can make a new node and just go, all right, I'm just gonna write a short story based around a cyberpunky theme, and maybe throw in a few like awesome cliches, or make it completely new, and then just chuck it in there, and the characters will deal with the bit, and will grow their character. But it doesn't have to be necessarily linked to the storyline. So that's why I figured that would be a good move, to move it away. Like it's semi-linear, but it's not a total open world plan either. So you'll still have planned action storyline, or planned like deep character development storyline, and not just, I don't know, like the whole Skyrim thing. It's like you're just a guy, and people just keep telling you how you're great, and you go and do the quests, and like the quests are quite deep, but I don't really feel that you get a whole lot of character development out of your own guy. You just sort of walking around and smashing shit. Maybe you've got a different experience out of that. Maybe you actually start playing it properly and attributing character development, but it's not built into the game. It's sort of what you've inferred from it. So I sort of want to build into this game the relationships that change and the things that can happen properly. But without obviously overcomplicating it, otherwise we'll be in dev hell for however long this game would take to make. And the beat 'em up thing keeps it asset light as well, because I think that's why we stick to platformers at the moment. It's because you only have to draw a guy sideways once and then flip him to turn him around, unless he's like asymmetrical, but we tend to be pretty clever with that. At least we don't make too much work for ourselves. Horizontal, there you go, bang. Oh, I'm turning around now. Bump, too easy. Yeah, and I'll have an actual Z-axis. Fatal Theory didn't do their Z-axis, it went for aerial combat. But I want to have both in this one. Aerial combat and Z-axis. Then we won't upset all the true beat 'em up fans of olden days. Yeah, we upset a lot of people with Fatal Theory. Okay, well, how much time we've got left? If you got any questions, chuck them in now. But for the moment, I think I'll go and do a bad guy character redesign. I'll go back to this stuff if we want. I'm happy to let the bad guy redesign thing happen over the next episode or even behind the scenes. Just let me know what you want to do. But I'm going to run with the character redesign until something happens. Whoops. Didn't realize I had that open. Alright. Okay, let me peek at this thing. Let me rotate the canvas, always. For character stuff, I like to work a bit more vertical, because people are more tall than they are wide, I guess, usually. Okay, I'm just going to chuck in a color for the background. Oh, not that dark. So the stuff I'll be sort of mumbling to myself will be more character designy now, instead of like game mechanicsy, which I'll go into more detail later. That was just a very rough overview, so I can open up the channels to see what you guys think about that stuff. Okay, so we've got one main bad guy for this storyline. Well, actually, there's quite a few bad guys. But the one that sort of pushes the story along is going to be this guy called Lucky. I've made my Photoshop smaller to help with the stream. It's going to be tricky drawing this stuff. I guess I'll work at a different zoomed out level for now. So his whole gig is that he's got high cheekbones. That's what I wanted. This is a line. Wait, guidelines phase. So I be messy. Don't think too hard. Just slap in shapes, draw things on it. I'm just gonna do, based on my time, I'm just gonna do a profile today, I think, so I can get more done in the time. Alright, the hour. I only really intend for each episode to run for an hour, and then with a little bit of overlap on whatever's left if it's not too big. So this guy might run a little bit over, but not by much. Oh yeah, so totally like just grab stuff and stretch it and rotate it if you're in the line art, the guidelines phase. Cause it's all good. Okay. I have no idea what I was talking about. Alright, so this guy, sort of the main-ish bad guy, he moves the story along because he's a guy who's like, the storyline is a love story, but it's his love story. His girlfriend, wife, fiance, whatever, has since died, and so he's got this strange thing about, like, he's very lucky and he's into the crime thing already, so he's somehow come across this thing that, like, there's this way to tap into the spirit world. So he's all about trying to work that out. The problem with tapping into the spirit world is that it breaks reality, and reality starts breaking apart around the city. So, um, he thinks he's going to be able to get to the spirit world, but he keeps like breaking reality and bringing in monsters and horrible things from some other plane of existence. I can't give too much away, otherwise you won't play the game. But he's sort of really, he's got the money, he's got the crew. He just will keep working towards his goal relentlessly, and the other characters, like the main characters, will try to convince him he's crazy. Like, you can't bring someone back from the dead. You know, the city's getting destroyed. There's monsters, people getting killed. But he's like, yeah, but you know, it's true love. So, um, you know, it's gonna work out. So he doesn't really care about the consequences so much. And he was like, you know, him and his missus robbed banks together and stuff, and they weren't exactly high on the morals department before you started doing all this stuff, playing with crazy science and magic at the same time. Um, uh, might have to knock this stuff out and see how bad that face is looking. So he's charismatic. I'd say is his like main power. He's like, I guess, you know how David Bowie was awesome in Labyrinth, sort of like that. Like, you can't help but want to like this guy, even though he's clearly crazy. So he's got the money and stuff, so he'll happily like spend it to like hire lots of people to help him do his goal. But he treats them well because he's actually a good client, just a legal kind of guy. Um, Let me zoom out for a sec. Probably looks bad. Um, so even though he's like hiring like pretty shit thuggy guys, but they really are quite loyal to him, even though they don't really care about his agenda because he's just a good boss. He pays really well. He's nice to them. Um, you know, all the things you'd want out of an employer, except that he's evil. But not really evil, just misguided, I suppose. They don't really care as long as they're getting paid well. And like the other thing about breaking into the spirit world is that there's the whole demon aspect of it, picking up powers and um, becoming more powerful and stronger yourself. So a few characters are hanging around him because they want to get their hands on that power. So there's some people hanging around with their own sort of thing. He doesn't really care as long as he gets his girlfriend back from the dead. Hang on. I had this idea for his hair, so I'm just having trouble getting it to work. Trying to get. I should friggin' use my guidelines layer. you can see I only got 15 minutes left, so I'm being quite rough. But I worked at this level anyway. Like, it's very early days, so this is how I work it. It's try to get an idea or a character or something down in a short amount of time without breaking my back, and still like have achieved something in a short amount of time. And then I can show it to my brother and we can work on it and, usual stuff, concepty stuff. That's why we do it. We do it quick. Oh, alluring but batshit crazy. Yeah, Nick Cage is probably a really good reference for this guy. um, oh, he's got that zip jacket thing that friggin' Star-Lord has from, what's his face? Guardians. Oh wait, costume, that would have been fine. Just the zip at the top, how it goes across. No, he doesn't have it. He's just got a regular jacket. Who am I thinking of then? That's really annoying. I didn't want it open, like fully open. I want it sort of asymmetrical. Just gonna have to wing it in the time then. For now, I can always revisit this part later. So, let's see. So the idea is more the zip goes down the edge here. Zips up. Right. I had to look at my own jacket to work that out. Oh yeah, wait, it's not fully zipped. That's right. That's why it's sitting half across his front like that. Yeah, right. Right. Oh wait, I've lost my chat window by opening that up. Cool. Yeah, so yeah, I think actually Nick Cage, that's a really good example for this guy. I really like that. Um, so he occasionally flip and be like spaz, but like most of the time he's pretty cool. Except rich gang lord Nick Cage. So this guy at the start of the game, he gets on the radar for everyone because he breaks a shitload of people out of prison and employs them. So it's always a good start. Get a whole bunch of people who are unhappy with, where they've been for the last however many years, and employ them if he thinks that they're a good fit for it. Um, and just having a whole bunch of people who should be in jail back out in the city again. Alright, we better get some colors and stuff in here. Alright, that was line art phase. Line art. So I'm just going to knock that down slightly transparent. We're going to chuck in some colors very quickly. Any questions or anything at this point while I'm doing this? Colors very like quick, simple, but fun. I can answer questions pretty easy at this stage. Just get some base colors down. I don't know what color thing's gonna be. I guess this is the first phase for it. Hey, what color jacket should this guy have? It's like this not green thing now at the moment. What colors you guys want? I'm gonna work with the hair for the moment and face. He's not blonde. I'm just getting a. There's a bit of yellow in it. He's more of a brown hair guy. Just want the whole range. The green's okay. Okay. All right. Oh wait. Coloring in. Pick a light source. Let's go with that side for now. What are we doing for time? Not awesome. It's because we went on about other stuff for so long. Okay. Everyone's okay with the green. Well, I guess green it is. I'll run with green for now, I suppose. It's fine. Pinky. Man, that face sucks. Let's move some features around. Let's see. I gotta see it from a distance to work this out. Eyes, massive. Nose, a bit crazy. There's this thing. Bubblegum pink. I will chuck some bubblegum in. I might mix it with the green though. I was gonna say something about eyes. Eyes. So, with manga stuff, the smaller the eyes, the more mature age your audience is probably gonna be. Dark purple. Dark purple. Dark purple and pink. Let's do that. Because Cyberpunk. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna do the. Oh shit! Alright. I don't know if Adam's seen my original sketch for Lucky. Don't know. It's around. It's in the office. I'll have to show it next time so you can see what you're up against. Alright. What are we doing for time? Not too bad. I'm listening to like some Japanese hip hop stuff, and they're asking where the Drizzy at. I don't know. I don't actually know what Drizzy would be. I hope it's drinks, because where are the drinks? So I'm running with just smacking in the lights because of the where I've put the lighting. Just chuck it on this side. We're just gonna have to run with that for now. I don't know what color eyes this guy's gonna have. While I fix up the jacket, we're gonna go dark purple and pink. Okay, swap it out. Super clear grey. Awesome. See, this is why we do it live. Otherwise, this would all be in house, and then it'd be like, I don't know, what did they do in that other game? Let's not copy it. Let's do the opposite. So yeah, super clear grey. So eyes sounds really awesome. Okay, good old clothes. Okay, so I sort of had this idea of what I was going to do with the outfit. Um, so please bear with me. I sort of had this idea for where was I going to put the purple then? I mean the the pink. I guess we'll rim it. Um, oh yeah, this could work. And then we go a smaller white one around the edge. Okay. Actually. Okay, what else I was gonna do? Okay, let me do. Oh wait, I was gonna do. Oh wait, no, that's not. I was gonna do like. Oh, actually, there. Talk to myself some more. It's fine. Okay. I think Drizzy Up is getting drunk because they keep saying imported nights, so I feel like it's just imported alcohol. So it's like sort of lined with this like very light white stitching crossover stuff, which I guess is too small a detail to show up in pixel art. But oh well. Okay, let's get to an eye color. I ran about 10 minutes late last time. Green eye and brown eye. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So it's an actual thing. Oh, yeah, but I just referenced like David Bowie. Having the two different eye colors is gonna be crazy, isn't it? Like, just take everything from David Bowie. Oh well, let's chuck it in for now. That's this is green. Let's go crazy bright. Just not gonna dark here. Oh wait, shit. I want that at 88. So we can actually get something happening. That would be oh, I don't know David Bowie was punched in the face. Wow. Well, I'm learning things too. In my own stream. It's good. It looks a bit crazy to me. Yeah, David Bowie was totally punched in the eye because he had a crazy eye, and now it doesn't dilate. So it doesn't explain his eye color then. Um, good, good. I don't know. I'm not digging the dual tone eye thing here. Um, like it's cyberpunky, but he looks very spacey now, or spaced out a little even, because the way I drew his face in the first place does not look too good. Um, mm, let's see. Let's go with the. What did you say up there? Super clear gray. What's wrong with that? Oh, that is creepy. I do like it though. Yeah, it's nice because of how creepy that looks, but without making him look too creepy. Alright, so with the help of you guys, I sort of like got this guy done in about 20 minutes or so. Alright, let's try clean him up a bit. Mostly the skin shading is what's making him look crazy, I think. No, it's his friggin' eyes. Alright. Um. Alright. I put the eyes too high up. Now he's like a horse face guy. Oh, I better do one at a time. It's gonna look a bit mong. Did I even move that one much? Just makes him look like he's wearing eye makeup. Okay. Okay. Other bit of um advice I got from art stuff years and years ago was that like don't be precious with the art because you're able to if you made it in the first place, well you probably won't be able to make it again exactly the same way, but you know you can you should have the ability to clean it up. So I'm just gonna put in a tone for the moment and I'll clean it up. So if you're doing your own stuff and something looks wrong, just grab and yank a piece of it around until it looks right, because you know, if you're the artist, you can fix it once you've done that. Just make your life easier. It's about making the product look kind of like okay, and like if you're just gonna run with bad decisions and just run it through to the end, well, you're probably not gonna be as happy with it as you'd want to anyway. So you might as well just go in and rack it up a bit and repaint some parts. Alright, we're gonna get rid of some of the lines around the eyes as well. Okay, back to line art layer. Can open that up. I even chucked in a couple lashes. Just for you guys. Alright, so obviously I can just keep doing this stuff to the nth degree and eventually get something that's super tight. But it's practically the end of the episode, so if you still not heaps happy with it, what we'll do. If you guys want to see the end result of this, you can always check it out on my Patreon page or DeviantArt page, which I'll show you links to afterwards. And I'll eventually get this guy finished. I did not know eyes had sphincter muscles, and that David Bowie's sphincter eye muscles got destroyed. That sounds horrible. Thanks, Adam, for clearing that up. Oh. Whoops. Alright. Eye sphincter. Eye sphincter says what? What? Throat sphincter. Let's just throw in something of a background. Alright, this is obviously a character concept done really quick, so done very, very quick. Oh, I'm on it. Okay. That's alright, baby Doom. You didn't mean to drag down the caliber of the chat. Or maybe you did. I don't know. Anyway, so we got this guy now. Lucky, screwing around with science and black magic and getting the city destroyed. Alright, well, that's basically the end of the episode. So, if you want to see Lucky finished up, um, if you want to see this guy finished up proper, I'll put in a bit more time on him, wrap him up, make it a bit nicer, clean up the line art, make the background not suck. Then you can always follow me at these places. So, the full episode is going to be up on twohitstudio.com later, as well as YouTube. Matt Concepts is my Folio website, just where the better stuff ends up. Patreon.com/wanderinghobo. If you liked what you saw and you feel like giving me money for whatever reason, that's the place to go. Or it's also a good place for just regular updates. I update that thing every 2 to 3 days and hassle the people on there who give me money, and they're like, "Oh, cool, another update, I guess." And then the other thing is my Twitter handle. So, um, you can follow me on that, and that's the easy one to talk to me a lot. Uh, Thanks to everyone dropping in. We had some weird chats. Sphincters, they're everywhere. So I'm gonna wrap it up. So, oh wait, next week. What are we gonna do next week? I guess we could. I could leave it partially open. Let's leave the second half open, but let's come up with some more concepts for things in the first half. So I will concept either some gameplay elements some more, or let's come up with some new monsters and characters. Monsters and characters. That sounds good. Unless I can think of some cool game stuff to bring in. And then the second half, you guys can chip in and say what you want to happen. Like, yeah, we can work on it. We'll come up with some weird stuff. Um, cool. Oh, thanks for dropping in. This is the second episode. I'm going to stop recording it locally now.